everyone. We'll say we have a quorum, and I'll call the March 27th, 2018 Board of Supervisors meeting to order. I apologize, Mr. Sunshine, I didn't recognize you back there. We have Don Sunshine from Wythe First Church of God here to do our invocation. I would ask everybody to please stand and remain standing for our pledge.
Father, we thank you for this opportunity to be together. We thank you for our citizens and for our board that have gathered here. God, we pray for wisdom and grace that they may do the business of the county to keep our citizens safe and prospering and take care of our schools. And Lord, we just ask that you bless them with that wisdom and grace in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, welcome everyone this morning. We have some resolutions to present, and Mr. Vaught from the Wythe District is going to do the first presenting.
First, second, third, and fourth, I believe.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I would recommend, since we only have one of the citizens from Rural Retreat that would do that presentation, but for the other three, we proceed with adopting the resolutions.
Okay.
And then we'll see if we can have them come back and do the presentation later.
Ladies first, Ms. Sufford. Plus, I know you have cows to milk. I know we've got the new CEO from the hospital. Welcome to Wythe County, and if you haven't tried it yet, Duchess milk.
I've heard about it.
Wythe County Resolution 2018-06, a resolution honoring Berkeley Hufford of the Rural Retreat High School indoor track and field team. Whereas Rural Retreat High School senior Berkeley Hufford completed a very successful high school indoor track and field career, and whereas Berkeley advanced to the 2016-2017 Virginia High School League State 2A Indoor Track and Field Championship, competing and placing sixth in the pole vault event with a height of 7 feet 6 inches. Whereas through hard work, perseverance, and determination, Berkeley was able to improve and best her previous pole vault height, and whereas Berkeley again advanced to the Virginia High School League State 2A Indoor Track and Field Championship in 2018, and whereas Berkeley defeated the competition, capturing the 2017-2018 State Championship Indoor Track and Field Pole Vault title with a height of 8 feet and 6 inches. Whereas the Wythe County Board of Supervisors officially commend Berkeley Hufford for her outstanding dedication, athletic ability, and sportsmanship. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Wythe County Board of Supervisors present this resolution to Berkeley Hufford in recognition of her 2017-2018 Indoor Track and Field State Championship Pole Vault title. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be incorporated into the official minutes of the Wythe County Board of Supervisors adopted this 27th day of March 2018. Congratulations.
I'll entertain a motion to adopt.
I make that motion.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Brian, Brian.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Sages.
You know, when I won this seat, I knew with Coach Boyd that I was going to have to read these, so I've been practicing. But when I graduated from Retreat High School, I never thought we would have an indoor track and field pole vault championship, or champion, excuse me. Mr. Sage, Wythe County Resolution 2018-04, a resolution honoring Blaine Sage of the Retreat High School wrestling team. Whereas Blaine Sage completed a very successful 2017-2018 high school wrestling season with an overall record of 35-9, And whereas Blaine advanced to the 2018 Virginia High School League Group 1A State Wrestling Championship, and whereas Blaine defeated the competition, capturing the 2018 state championship title in the 126-pound weight class. And whereas the Wythe County Board of Supervisors officially commend Blaine Sage for his outstanding dedication, athletic ability, and sportsmanship. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the Wythe County Board of Supervisors present this resolution to Blaine Sage in recognition of his 2018 126-pound weight class individual state championship title. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be incorporated into the official minutes of the Wythe County Board of Supervisors, adopted this 27th day of March, 2018. Congratulations.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, do you want to adopt the other three?
And before it's still, I'd just like to comment on Blaine. Winning a state championship as a freshman is very difficult. So congratulations, and that means 3 more years you plan on reading that again.
Okay, just read the resolution number and name, and we'll adopt them.
Wythe County Resolution 2018-03, a resolution honoring Ethan Martin of the Rural Retreat High School wrestling team.
Entertain a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Wythe County Resolution 2018-02, a resolution honoring Josh Wynn of the Rural Retreat High School wrestling team.
Entertain a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in-
Just let me point out, Mr. Chairman, that Mr. Wynn would receive this, and he is a 4-time state championship, so that's quite impressive.
It sure is. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ms. Lawson?
Okay. Wythe County Resolution 2018-05, a resolution honoring Sebastian Lamoureux of the George Wythe High School wrestling team.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next we have a new person in Wythe County, Joe Wilkins, the new CEO of Wytheville Community Hospital. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. And I've been here since November of last year, and definitely enjoying myself, so I kind of get acclimated to everyone and meeting some great people in town. And before I go forward, I just wanted to say congratulations again to Berkeley and Blaine. It's great to be state champions, and in a former life and in a former body, I was an athlete, and actually I was a Virginia state champion as well. And I want to say that, that the sky's the limit. It's great to be an athlete, and I've learned so much more probably on the football field about life and how to work hard than I did in any classroom. So it's great to be athletes. Use it to the best of your ability. You have some great friends you're going to really rely on over the years, and just keep working hard, stick at it. It helps us get through those hard times. So congratulations to you two. I'm glad to see that. Absolutely. So again, sorry, I had to put that little plug in there. So, but again, I've been here since November. I'm originally from Halifax County, Virginia, South Boston area. Kind of, it's smaller than Wythe County, and well, I should say Wytheville, South Boston is. And folks say, wow, it's smaller than Wytheville? I say, yes, it's smaller. I always tell a story that my wife, she's from Long Island, New York. And we've been married now for going on 19 years, known each other for over 20. And when she came down to my home for the first time, she said, let's go to McDonald's. I said, okay, sure, I'll take you to McDonald's. And so as we were driving about 30 minutes later, she asked me, I thought we were going to McDonald's. I said, we are, but I live in the country. You understand? It's about 40 minutes to get to McDonald's. But again, I'm so glad to be here with you all. And here at Wythe County Community Hospital, we have some great people, and they have welcomed me in tremendously. And we're doing some great things for our people here in the town. And that's our goal, is to treat people that are here, take care of our community. And I'm often asked, what does that mean to me? And to me, that means to make sure we're treating our patients like they're our family. And that's what we're going to do. And often when I'm interviewing people, I ask them the question, tell me why I should trust you to treat my family. And it catches them off guard sometimes, but it's the question that really drives me every single day. And someone has asked me, what does that mean to you? What does it mean to treat your patients like they're your family? And to me, that means to treat them with care that's outstanding, that's reliable, that's evidence-based, because again, I am a clinician, I'm a physical therapist, so I really believe in treating patients according to what the best research states. It's going to be care that's loving, and we're going to do it with integrity and accountability. And we're doing that very well at Wythe County. We want to make sure that we can take care of folks that can see our hospital from their front door, take care of them here. There are some things that we don't do, and we understand that, and we want to make sure we get you to where you need to be as soon as possible. But the things that we do here, we want to do those things very well, and we are doing a very good job of that. So I went out last night with some doctors last night, and I kind of have this bandage here, so they didn't like everything I had to say, so they kind of gave me a right hook, I guess. But I'm back. So, but again, I'd say I want to thank you all so much for welcoming me here to town. I'm looking forward to working with everybody here to make sure we can take care of our community, to make it healthier. That's our overall role and our overall purpose. I've been out and about a lot, meeting a lot of people, getting a lot of feedback. I listen a lot, and also I want to make sure that we take action and that we celebrate the great things that we're doing. Latest celebration is that our organization, LifePoint, we've been awarded the John M. Eisenberg Award. And when I first heard that, I said, well, what is that? I wasn't quite sure what the John M. Eisenberg Award is. But it's given by the Joint Commission, which accredits hospitals throughout the United States. And it focuses on patient safety and patient quality. It's somewhat the Academy Award that you probably would say for patient safety and quality within healthcare. And our organization, LifePoint, and our hospital received that award, which just says how much of a focus that we place on giving high-quality patient care. I have to go out and report out every 6 months. I have to report on how we're doing with quality, not how we're doing financially, not how we're doing with admissions, how we're doing with quality, how safe we're keeping our patients. And that's the focus that we have from an organizational standpoint. So, again, I'm so glad to be here, to be with you all, to be part of Wythe County. So if I can ever do anything to assist you all, if I can hear things that we can celebrate, let me know so we can celebrate. If there are things that are happening or something happened did not go right, let me know that as well, so I can make sure I can address it and take action on it. So I love to hear the great things, even though usually I hear all the bad things. But I want to hear the great things too, so we can celebrate those things we're doing well. So again, look forward to working with everybody. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me at any point, and I'll see you soon.
Well, thank you, Mr. Wilkins. We do have a wonderful hospital here, and I'm sure you're here to make it better. And thank you for choosing our little piece of paradise here in Southwest Virginia to settle in, and I hope you enjoy living here.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Now we move into citizens' time. We have Ms. Myers.
Yes, I just want to give you guys some information. This is about a school shield program. I'm not sure if you're aware. It's just organizing and defining security solutions. So perhaps you want to look into this. This is available on a national level. I don't have enough copies for everybody, but if you could do that and give that to the school board, it would be appreciated.
Okay.
There's no sense in reinventing the wheel if other people have already done the work.
Thank you, Ms. Myers. Mr. Kegley? Morning, Andy.
Good morning. Happy to be here. Andy Covey with Hope. I'm happy to be before your two new members, Ms. Lawson and Mr. Watt. Did they see the information?
They've got a copy of the letter.
Okay. So I won't reread the whole letter, but I was asking Mr. Bear to get a letter of support for an application that Hope is submitting this week to Virginia Department of Housing and Community Development to preserve the financing of our Long Meadows subdivision. This has been a project that's been before you all several times over the last 5 years, maybe. Subdivision down in the eastern end of Wythe County below Fort Chiswell High School that Hope bought in 2013 with some federal dollars, HUD dollars, designed for first-time homebuyers. We bought a distressed subdivision. Some private developers had built the road back in 2007, got caught in the recession, were unable to do anything with it. We bailed them out in 2013 with some federal dollars. The money we received to buy it is time restricted, and my time is running out. We have until July of this year to complete the development of the lots that we had the federal dollars from to purchase. To go into a little more just slight detail, we got caught by VDOT and it ended up being a 2.5-year moratorium on being able to get new building permits until we improved the road. We repaved the road last year after VDOT relented a little bit, and we didn't have to spend quite as much money, but it was completely unbudgeted, plus the interest cost, the carrying cost for the period of time where we weren't able to sell any homes has been frankly pretty crippling. My application to DHCD this week is asking for about $240,000 to pay off the HUD note. So that's what we're trying to do. And a letter of support from the county would be, I think, pretty helpful. The county's been a great partner. You all did the water line for us for the subdivision several years ago. And we just got a market study back on the need for affordable housing. And it showed a pretty big need for not just rental housing, but what we're trying to do is home ownership. And I would argue this is a pretty important piece of economic development that if we can provide more affordable housing for anybody, workers, new prospects come to town, we will all be in a better position. So got the letter, and if you have any questions, happy to address them. I told Mr. Reeves a couple weeks ago at another meeting that we had done a housing summit back in February, and I will get you the information about that because that was pretty revealing about the crisis, the shortage of affordable housing, not just in Wythe County, but in our entire service area. And the thing that sort of stands out is for 15 years, median income in Wythe County has gone up about 24%. Median rent in Wythe County has gone up better than 40%. So rents are outpacing incomes. And that's one of the reasons there's what we're calling a crisis in affordable housing. So we're going to try to call more attention to that over time and encouraging more development. We're small, we can't do a lot, but we will certainly try to do what we can to plug that gap.
Yep. Basically, what we'd like to have is just a recommendation to authorize the chairman to sign this letter and send it, if that's all right with everyone.
Entertain a motion to recommend a letter of support for Hope.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
All right, well, thank you. And if I could, just take a moment of, with the snowstorm and the power outages, you know, it's almost maybe too late, but I would just put in a plug for thinking about a warm shelter. We had lots of people in the office yesterday, elderly and disabled and shut in, folks who were kind of at wit's end about not having water, not having power, not having heat in their homes. I heard this morning APCO still has 6,000 some outages in Wythe County. And, you know, I'm one of them. They're telling me it could be as late as Thursday night. So anything you did about a warming shelter now might not be as important, but, you know, having a storm hit on a Saturday night probably caught everybody off guard and not chance to react thinking about a shelter. But I know Mr. Bear is looking into it now, and that's a good thing. Neighboring counties are doing that. So, appreciate you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Just
you,
follow
Andy.
up on that, I have spoken with Jason this morning. I do know that American Red Cross has opened up some places in Pulaski County, like at YMCA's or locations for people who have to take showers or baths or charge phones or things. And he is checking on it. Dispatch and received a couple calls yesterday. That was it, about any warming stations. They hadn't been inundated with calls for it, but I've got him looking at it and seeing there are some locations, also working possibly with the town locations.
Okay. That is everybody signed up for citizens' time, but if there's anybody else would like to speak, hearing none, we'll move on. Next item is payment of invoices. I entertain a motion to pay the invoices. Have a second? Have a motion and a second. Is there any invoice any board member would like to pull out or discuss? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Next item on our agenda is the minutes of the previous meeting, March the 13th, 2018, and March the 26th, 2018. You have a copy of the minutes from yesterday at your desk. I'll entertain a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any corrections or changes need to be made to the minutes?
Mr. Chairman, just on the March 26th minutes, they need to include the disclosure that I read yesterday. I'll provide Mr. Bear with a copy of that so they can add that to official minutes.
Okay. Who made the motion to approve? You,
I'll change my motion to include this.
to include the amendment? Second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second with the corrected minutes. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Vaught?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Old business, Crystal Springs Recreational Access Road Resolution. Mr. Bear, you want to summarize?
Yes, as you all know, the town of Whitfield has been working with us. They wanted us to have Crystal Springs brought up to a hard surface road. It was on our 6-year plan. We became aware that it could be paid through recreational access funds. We worked with, on behalf, and with the town on putting an application in. And the application is pending. They have requested resolution. One of the concerning parts of the resolution was basically that anything over $250,000 required a dollar-for-dollar match up to $450,000. And they requested that the county adopt a resolution indicating their support that they would go anything above $250,000. Now, VDOT is very confident that they will have this work done for less than $250,000. Behind our resolution is a copy of the town of Whitfield's resolution, because we asked the town of Whitfield, since we're doing this on their behalf, if it did go over the $250,000, that they would be willing to cover that cost. So we have this resolution that needs to be adopted in order for VDOT to continue with this project. Staff's recommendation would be for the adoption of this resolution.
Okay, I entertain a motion to adopt Resolution 2018-07.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hear none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Mr. Byrd, anything else under old business?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman, I'm not aware of anything else at all.
Okay, we'll move into reports. Ms. Gwen, our treasurer, good morning.
Good morning again. I was going to congratulate our 4 state champions, but understandably, the ones that were here ducked out of the meeting and left. So, but kind of adding to what Mr. Vaught said, as my nephew says, long, long ago, when Mr. Vaught and Ms. Collins and I were in high school, a state championship was unheard of, individual or team. And it's great to be from a county that produces state champions, but our Rural Retreat community, we've done very well on an individual basis. So that's been very exciting for us. Okay, moving on to other things. Our consolidated checking account contains a balance of $67,307,939. And of that, in the general fund, the balance is $42,201,252. We decreased a little bit from last month, but I think with, of course, we're all trying to spend budget money right now before the end of the year, but we're getting ready to mail out delinquent tax notices. I actually sent those to the printers on Friday, so I think we'll have, of course, a lot more of that coming in. But collectively, between real estate and personal property, I sent 9,500 tax bills to the printers. So they're working on a few things for us that in order to be able to get those approved and be out. So I'd hope they would be back into the county the end of this week. It's probably going to be the early to the middle part of next week. So we will have those coming in. My office, last week, we started working on manually putting on DMV stops on taxpayers that owe taxes for 2016 and back but did not have a 2017 bill. It paid off for us on Friday. We got our first phone call on the stop, and the stop had just gotten put on Tuesday afternoon. So I was very excited. We had an unhappy taxpayer, though, but we're combing through DMV to try to find vehicles that are due for tag renewals relatively soon, try to find the earliest vehicle for renewal, and we are placing those holds on folks. So right now, the DMV fee, it has increased. DMV increased their fee from $20 to $25, so we charge $30. $25 of that, as I said, goes to DMV. The county only receives $5 of that charge. So we've started that early May. I've already talked with Mr. Southers, and we're working out when to get the stops put on for those that owe 2017 taxes. So all of that's really up and going, and will continue to increase over the next month and a half at the most. So that's pretty much where we are at with collections, and we'll see where we are after the delinquent notices go out and everyone receives that pink piece of paper, because they're not happy about that either.
Thank you, Ms. Gwynn. Does
Thank
anybody
you.
have any
Anybody
questions?
anything?
What kind of numbers are you looking at as far as vehicles that go that far back that are delinquent or tied to an account?
How many vehicles or how many accounts?
Or how many accounts?
I'm not sure on the accounts. My personal property list, when I run the delinquent list, is running about 1,350 pages, and there's about 5 accounts to a page, depending on how many years they owe. So you're looking at close to 10,000 accounts, probably. I mean, just a high estimate there. But, some folks owe multiple years. Some only owe 1 year or 2 years. So it kind of depends on how many are, on that sheet. But I'm not sure exactly how many accounts. I can give you that number, though. I didn't bring that with me, but I can go back and pull my report. It'll give me the number of counts at the end, but I didn't write that down to bring with me today. So.
Well, in Mr. Hale's absence, just let me say, keep doing what you're doing.
We're trying. We're trying to do all that we can, because the more we can collect helps for when you all are going through budget. From my point of view, help keep the tax rates lower. So if we're not collecting, every one of us, including myself and you all, we're all paying the tax increase as well. So, I feel like it's in the best interest of all of us, and that's why I'm there. That's what we're there for, is to collect the taxes and make sure, that we collect all that we can. So if we don't do our job, then, we're not following through with what, especially for me, what I'm there for. So, but my staff's been really great. They're working hard on it, and it just takes time, especially doing the manual stops. It really takes time because you have to research DMV, but we're getting there. We're making progress, so we're getting there.
Ms.
Anything?
Wythe, the page 1 and 2 of your financial statement report, that shows the dollar value by year, correct, of the delinquent taxes?
On the tax report, yes. The last 2 pages do, yes.
It doesn't give the number of accounts, but does give the dollar value, so.
Right. Yeah, so right now, for example, real estate as of the end of February, we're looking at, basically 1.8 million outstanding, just on the personal property that does not include mobile homes, machine and tools, looking at almost 18,000. But the last 2 pages of the treasurer's report will give you that breakdown on all of those delinquent years. So, and we've billed out supplements the last 2 months. So, you know, we're more on track now of kind of keeping all of that in line. So that's added to it a little bit. Takes a little bit of time for those to come through. So, but yeah, overall, that'll give you your figures of where we are. Anything else?
Anybody have any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Gordon.
Thank you.
I don't see Ms. Barker here this morning, so Sheriff?
Mr. Chairman, I have nothing to bring forward.
Yes.
You have 2 letters in there if you want to mention them. About the retirees. Oh. Just, I don't know if you want to address them or not, but the vehicle, the sale of the guns, retirees.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Mr. Farthing, I got your email this morning. Do I need to state a disclosure before I have anything to do with the conversation with the sheriff's office? Just to be safe?
I think based on the opinion we received from the Ethics Council, you know, it was broader than I anticipated that to be. I think that we all need to do better with disclosures. And you state your disclosure of what your relationship is with that agency, whether you're an employee, your spouse is an employee there, that office or agency has made a request for budget funding, that you feel that you can objectively vote on that issue if you choose to do so, and that it affects everyone as a whole versus maybe your husband individually or you directly. I think that disclosure needs to be made any time that you would vote relating to an agency. Like if you're voting on something for the sheriff, I think you need to vote. You need to make that disclosure. I think it should be made in writing, and then it be made verbally every time something to the sheriff's office comes up. We're still waiting on an opinion from the Giles County, specifically about the SRO position for Mr. Vaught. We have the advisory opinion. If they differ, we can send that back to the advisory people and say, can you give us another opinion here, a different view, if we want to do that. But I think you need to disclose. I think Mr. Horny needs to disclose when he votes on school board matters the same way. So if you choose to vote at this point, then I think you need to disclose. Or if you choose not to vote, I think you disclose and say, I'm abstaining from voting on this issue today.
I don't foresee any voting happening right now, but just to cover everything off, I'll type something up real quick.
Well, there's a couple issues coming up later in the budget, on the budget request for the sheriff's office funding, which I think, in my opinion, affects the sheriff's office as a whole. However, you know, the advisory opinion seems to be a little different than that, that if you're voting and it affects a department that your husband works for or that you work for, that opinion said that there's a conflict there. That's contrary to what my opinion has been in the past when voting on a whole like that. So that's your discretion at this point of how you vote, if you choose to vote on that matter or not, as we wait for an opinion from the Commonwealth Attorney's Office.
Okay. Well, I, Ryan Lawson, intend to participate in any discussion concerning the Sheriff's Office. I am not personally employed by the Wythe County Sheriff's Office, but my husband, Brian Lawson, is. This discussion may affect all Sheriff's Office employees in Wythe County, including my husband, and I am able to participate in this transaction fairly, objectively, and in the best interest of the public. The Conflict of Interest Act allows me to participate as long as I make this statement. And I'll also get that in writing. Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, sure. Mr. Harrington's duty weapon.
Right. The code provides that retirees with over 15 years of service in a department can purchase their duty weapon for $1. And we've had that happen when Forrest retired earlier this year, so we had 2 pistols to go to retirees.
Okay, entertain a motion to,
Actually, I think, Mr. Chairman, you need a motion on this if he's already accepted. You can do it if you'd like to for the sale of it, and that'll be fine.
We've
We can do it.
done it
Yeah, we
in the
can.
past. Entertain a motion to approve.
I would make that motion.
Have a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain.
Okay, the next one is Forrest Carter.
Correct. Forrest retired back in August, and he's, he purchased his duty weapon as well. Actually, they don't even pay the dollar. We used to take it out of the candy jar.
Okay, I entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
I'll abstain again.
Okay. You have anything else, Sheriff?
I could bring you up to date on the grants I mentioned a month or so ago. We've had the training on the Narcan and the defibrillators, and we're still in the process of getting the radios that you bought into the cars, but the portables are all deployed, and probably, I don't know where we're at with the cars, maybe half. So it's a little bit slower than we thought it would be, but they're getting there.
Okay.
That's all I've got.
If you would sit down in the front seat, because I'm going to ask your opinion on something in a minute. If you would, please. Okay, next Personnel Committee. Report, and Mr., I don't know, who's the chairman? Is Mr. Hill the chairman? Will one of y'all take the,
I wasn't present for the last meeting.
this is the dealing with the noise
Oh, the
ordinance?
noise ordinance.
Mr. Chairman, if you'd like, I'll be glad to
Yeah,
give an
go ahead.
update unless someone wants to, I don't care.
Go for it.
What you have in front of you there is a revised draft of the noise ordinance. By recommendation, what we've got drawn up is just re-adopting the noise ordinance instead of trying to do an amendment, just add a little bit of language in here, a little bit of language there, and going back to 22. So basically, what is highlighted that you see before you, the yellow part basically says between the hours of 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. That section was recommended to be added by the committee, that it shall be unlawful, and then all of the items basically remain the same, except section number 4, where it removed the time limit there, since the time limit is already established at the top part of it, and it added in there the unnecessary discharging of firearms. And this was the recommendation of committees, and basically it gets the ordinance down to the times that it is addressing noise is only between the hours of 11 p.m. and 6 a.m.
Okay, Sheriff, this is where I'm going to ask you your opinion on the noise ordinance. How many complaints have we had since we adopted this ordinance?
Not a great deal, but we have had several, most of them involved people shooting guns. And we responded to those that it was a shooting sport. So sports are allowed in the existing one. So, but other than a couple, the guy with the siren, that was a fiasco. But we do get some, probably more in the summer than, in the cold months when people are out a little bit and getting a little rowdy.
You've heard the new language. Do you think we need to change it?
I don't know that whatever we do will make much difference, to be honest with you. Most of the noise ordinances, places that have noise ordinances, they don't have a lot of teeth to them. And it's really hard to craft something. Putting the time frame on it, I think, will probably help, but we haven't had a lot of calls. Like I said, most of the calls were people shooting guns, and we live in the country, so people are going to shoot guns.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I guess this is a recommendation from the Personnel Committee, or is just for us to look?
This is the draft recommendation from the committee. In order to do anything with this, you would need to set a public hearing to have an ordinance. And actually, it's a readoption of the ordinance, or a new ordinance, replacing the old one, not just amending it.
I'll entertain a motion that that if the board agrees to hold a public hearing to change the ordinance, I entertain a motion to do so, to set a public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
To have a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to set a public hearing. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, let's see. I'll set it for May the 8th, tonight meeting. May the 10th is too soon, and I don't want to have it during the day, so May the 8th.
Are we going to have public hearing about that time on budget?
That could be the budget public hearing, obviously with the state delayed. With their delay in action, we may end up delaying our public hearing, but we may end up having two public hearings that night.
Knowing the state, it will probably be June the 12th having a public hearing for the budget. Have we set the public hearing for the budget already?
We just got it in the calendar, but we have not.
Advertised.
We have not advertised or anything like that. May 8th would be fine if you want to go ahead and schedule
Okay,
it.
just set it for May 8th, and if we have to, we have to. Okay, anything else from the Personnel Committee? Hearing none. Water Committee.
Okay, the Water Committee met on March 20, 2018 with Citizens Cable, who is requesting a waiver to the mandatory connection at their facility at 2552 Fort Chiswell Road. The committee agreed to waive the connection under the condition that the minimum monthly bill be paid, and if there is any further expansion of the building, that would result in an increase in water demand. The monthly bill would be adjusted accordingly.
Okay, come from the committee. It doesn't need a second. Any question or discussion?
Question. Has this happened in the past? Could an individual household request this?
Good question. The ordinance allows for anyone to request an exemption to this ordinance. The Citizens Cable or Citizens Telephone contacted me with requests of exemption, and I told them that I did not recommend an exemption. That generally everybody that builds within that area does have to connect. The ordinance allows for the board to grant the exemption. The information they presented, and I'll let they do. My point was that they had buried cable down along the road to get in there. They could bury a water line down through there. What they brought in is along their road coming in, they have about 3 lines through there already spread across the road, and they don't have anywhere where they can come along their road and put their line in. And plus, there is a concern as well between their line and the culvert and the water line freezing in that area from where they would put it. And coming in otherwise with a very rocky area to come through. So they came to the committee and made their special request, brought their pictures and showed why they thought they should have an exemption to it. The other thing is, it's the office building. It does have bathrooms in it. It's not going to be staffed all the time. There's going to be minimal usage at this facility. So it's not likely that even if they were connected to the water, that it would ever go above the minimum monthly bill as it was. So they're still going to be paying the minimum monthly bill.
And that's what the water committee was looking at was, I mean, they're not gonna use much water even if they do hook theirs. So, I mean, we're still getting the money for it, and it's saving them the money of having to try to put in through the rocks. They had one strip through their driveway that we thought they could have put one, but they buried cable lines through there, and we were thinking in the future that if they need extra cable to come out there, we'd rather have them to be able to send the cables out to supply the citizens what they need to do that way than to get water in there, which is not gonna make a big difference. If it was a household, it would have been different, because I mean, a household would use more than a minute.
And they did state that they're going to probably add more
Right.
lines through the driveway as far
I don't know how
as
technology
fiber.
is, I mean, they're just gonna have to keep adding more and more until they figure out some way to do it without lines.
Any more questions? Hear none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny?
Aye.
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 And the chair votes aye. Anything else from the Personnel Committee? I mean, the Water Committee?
Nope, not that I know of.
Okay, Budget Committee.
The Budget Committee met on March 22nd, 2018, and made the following recommendation. Number one is to accept the health insurance renewal with the local choice, and that the board provide the following amounts towards the monthly premiums. The Key Advantage 1,500 is $638 for a single person, $658 for dual, $738 for a family. And the Key Advantage HDHP is $563 single, $583 for a dual, and $663 for a family.
Again, coming from committee, it doesn't need a second. Any discussion?
This is what the school board is doing as well.
Okay. Anybody have any more discussion or questions?
This is basically the same as it was last year.
Well, it's a $17 increase to the county per employee
Per single.
for single.
I was gonna say, that, I mean, if it's a family plan or a dual plan, they may have to pay just a little bit more, but
There's,
it's.
because, yes, we're providing $17 toward the individual's coverage. Anything that they have above and beyond that, they're paying additional.
Yeah. Okay, hearing no other questions or comments, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Vaught?
Aye.
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 And the chair votes aye. Next item?
Is to transfer $10,000 from the PAF to account 3102-470030 for equipping the new law enforcement vehicles and to amend and appropriate the same.
Okay, again, come from committee, it doesn't need a second. Any questions?
Mr.
Comments?
Chairman, Mr. Farthing, yesterday you weren't here, but I read my disclosure. Do I need to read this every time?
I think you need to disclose that yes, I think you just make that statement every time you vote on the sheriff's. I mean, I guess if you're voting, I'll look into it, but I think if you're voting today, and there's more than one matter today, I think you read the disclosure.
One time and
One
be
time
done.
and say, any matter concerning the sheriff today, this is my disclosure.
All right. Pursuant to Section 2.2-3112 of the Code of Virginia 1950 as amended, I, Brian W. Vaught, intend to participate in discussion concerning budgetary matters for the Wythe County Sheriff's Office. I'm employed by Wythe County Sheriff Keith Dunnigan. This discussion may affect all Sheriff's Office employees in the county, and I'm able to participate in the transaction fairly, objectively, and in the public interest.
Okay, again, come from committee, it doesn't need a second. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny?
Yeah.
Aye.
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 The chair votes aye. Next item.
Is to amend and appropriate $88,000 to account 31021-413300 for overtime.
Again, this is come from committee. It doesn't need a second. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny?
Aye.
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 And the chair votes aye. Anything else from the budget committee?
That's all.
Okay. County Administrator's Report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first item you have there, talked about it a couple of months ago, the Rural Retreat Lake lease. They do request that we do go ahead and execute and enter into this temporary lease agreement until the full lease agreement is adopted. I talked to the individuals last week. They are working on that. They do require a public hearing by DGIF. I have inquired as to whether that public hearing will be in Richmond for the full lease or whether it will be down in this area. And they advised me they would get back in touch with me. But basically, this is a lease that, basically just continues the lease on the Rural Retreat Lake property on a month-to-month basis until the other lease is in existence.
Okay. Is there any more questions? Entertain a motion to approve and authorize all pertinent signatures.
I would make that motion.
Have a second.
Second.
Now, any questions or discussion? Hear none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny?
Aye.
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 The chair votes aye. Next item.
Next item, Mr. Chairman, is a no-cost lease for the Max Meadows Convenience Center property from AEP, and recommend authorization to the necessary parties to sign the documents to continue that lease for our Max Meadows facility.
I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Have a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Hear none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Vaught?
Aye.
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 The chair votes aye. Next item.
Next item is just informing you all of the contribution rates. No action is necessary. The retirement rate of 8.28% for fiscal years 19 and 20 on our retirement. That is a drop from, I believe, 8.65%. No changes on the other items. Included behind that for your viewing pleasure was the actuarial studies that went with all of it. And I will ask for you not to ask me to try to tell you how they do all those actuarial calculations in the process. But if there are any questions about that, I'll be glad to follow up and work with Mr. Grant on any concerns that you have on it.
Okay. Next item.
Next item is Apex Authority resignation. Mr. Jimmy Hufford, been in discussion with the Apex Authority recently. He has indicated that he is unable to continue coming to the meetings Tuesday night. It's not a night that works for him. Jimmy has always been a strong proponent of the Apex facility and center from the time he was on the Planning Commission board. So he hates to have to resign, but he doesn't feel he's able to commit the time to it that is required. So the board will be looking at a replacement. The authority did discuss two names and made a recommendation of two names, and they were confirming with those individuals if they were going to be interested in serving. There was some discussion on that. I do not have any information from Matthew Miller at this time on that, so I can let y'all know who they are. We can wait and hear back from them in the process.
Who are they?
Mr. Stanley King was the one, and 17 Junior, and it slips my mind right now. I apologize. I think we got it.
Okay, just email it out to us, and we'll take that up. But I'm sure the authority, when do they meet next?
They will meet this coming Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Will be their next meeting.
Okay. I won't be able to, that's the 3rd. I have to go to Richmond. I won't be at that meeting. But we get the information, we'll bring it up at the next board meeting. Next item.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just add one more item. Handed out in front of you is consent to the Director of Emergency Management's declaration of emergency. My appreciation to our staff and to the chairman last Saturday, as you all know, as the snow continued to build and the interstates were closing down. We were beginning to get phone calls about possibly needing to open up shelter for individuals from the interstates. We declared a local emergency as of 10 p.m. Mr. Reeves, Mr. Southers, Mr. Bowers, Mr. Busick came into the Emergency Operations Center to start setting everything up and to be in position should we need to open up any sheltering operations. By 2 a.m. or so that morning, state police advised that the roads were passable, most of the wrecks were cleared, traffic was moving, so we closed down the EOC at that point in time, and did not have to do any action. But the law requires for us to approve the declaration of local emergency, and we request your all's consent to this declaration.
I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? Hear none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny?
Aye.
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 And the chair votes aye. Anything else, Mr. Burr?
No, sir, I do not know of anything else.
Okay, County Attorney, Mr. Farley.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I've handed out to you a proposal from a law firm concerning the opioid epidemic, I guess. They had made a proposal to me. They came and met with me a month or so, I guess early February. They had sent this potential agreement to us. So the first page is a summary page of what they're proposing, and then an actual formal agreement with that. So that's for you all to review. If you have any questions, let me know. I can pass those on to the attorney.
Just 1 second.
Kill it.
I was going to say, it had his board package up, so I don't know what it's doing.
I want to do something on the back of that.
So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll pass them on to the attorney if you have specific questions. Mr. Bear had informed me this morning that VACO was also in discussions concerning this same matter. And then it's your decision as to how you want to proceed, if you want to hire counsel to pursue this. These guys represent several localities. They have filed suit, and I'll forward that to you later today for Dickinson County and the city of Alexandria. It's about 108 pages long, but I'll send you what they sent to me so you can see that. Mr. Bear is going to reach out to VACOR and see what his communication is from them about what they're recommending proceed or whatever to bring back to you all. And then you can discuss and decide how you want to proceed. So that's all I have for you today.
Okay. Move right into our Board of Supervisors, District 1, Blacklick District. Do you have anything to bring to the board at this time?
Had some road concerns and addressed them with Mr. Russell, and he took care of them. Had a complaint about the recycling center and passed that on to Mr. Barrett. I think he addressed that. So just glad to have power back for a lot of us.
Okay. West Whipple,
Nothing at this time.
East Whipple.
The only thing I have at this time are still, same thing that's been going on the last few weeks, concerned parents over the SRO program. They want to know where we're at with it, why we're not doing anything right now. I tried to explain to them the whole conflict of interest, which I have to say amazes me. But that is nothing, that has never came up before. Of everything the board's voted on, the budget for the sheriff's office, the radios most recent. It just, it worries me, and it honestly just amazes me that the safety of our children is at stake, and now the conflict comes up. So I hope that we can get this resolved very soon. I know we're waiting on the Commonwealth Attorney's opinion, but I hope that this is something that we can resolve sometime in the very near future.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Lead mines.
I don't have anything.
Okay. Spiebel,
I don't have anything at this time.
and I don't have anything at this time. I don't know where Mr. Bauer went to, but we'll move into new business. We have the consent calendar. I entertain a motion to approve.
I would so move.
Have a second?
Thanks.
Any discussion or questions about the consent calendar? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Vaught? Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. We will need Mr. Bauer for next item, clerk of the circuit court, special election.
Mr. Chairman, I can address that if you would like me to.
Okay.
Mr. Horney has announced his retirement as of April 1st. Upon his retirement, the Code of Virginia appoints the deputy clerk, or at least that's the succession of how that goes. I think the judge actually appoints them to be the acting clerk until the special election. The code requires a resolution from us, as well as this petition that's in your packet, asking the court to set a special election, which the petition is drafted is requesting that take place at the next general election. And that's more cost-effective for us. If it's set on a different date, the electoral board gave us an estimate of about $12,000 or so to run the election outside the normal scheduled election. Plus, in addition to that amount, is 2 or 3 employees that normally help with the setup and the takedown of that event. So this is what's before the board, is a request to pass the resolution so that we can file the petition for the special election. The end result is the judge makes the call as far as when the election happens. So he could order the election to happen sooner. There's some time requirement as to how many days before the general election it needs to take place. So we present it to the judge with their request, and this is just my draft to present to you all to have it at the next general election. I would anticipate this also happening with the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. Mr. Mabe has been, I guess, I don't know if to say nominated or voted to accept a position as a general district court judge. And as soon as the General Assembly votes on the budget, I would anticipate Mr. Mabe to resign from his job, but he's not going to do that until the budget gets passed, is my understanding from Mr. Mabe. So you'll see one of these again in the near future, more than likely. I don't know if Mr. Bear has anything to add to what I've been talking about or not. So the request for you all is to pass the resolutions in the package.
I entertain a motion to pass the resolution.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion or questions? Hear none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Vaught? Aye.
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 Yeah.
And the chair votes aye. Okay, next item is the fourth quarter appropriations. I entertain a motion to approve. Have a second?
Second.
Any questions? Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horney?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And the chair votes aye. Okay, Mr. Byers, anything else to bring before the board at this time in our regular meeting?
No, sir, there is not. I will mention the other name was Kara Goforth was the other, Kara Goforth
Here we go.
was the other name that was mentioned for consideration. I sent an email follow-up to Mr. Miller and said we will take action at our next board meeting.
Okay. Here, no other business come for a regular meeting. We will recess until 1 p.m. for a budget work session. I have everybody back here at 1. We are in recess.